Hi, this is Dr. Annie Harvilicz. I'm here at Animal Wellness Foundation, and this is little Tater Tot. And we just stopped in to say hi to Tater Tot before we head over to the South LA shelter to try to rescue some more animals.
Yay, Annie.
Yay, Tater Tot. Tater Tot needs a home.
Tater Tot. How old is Tater Tot?
Tater Tot's about, 7 to 8 weeks.
Oh my goodness. Look at that sweet little tail, Tater Tot. You're so happy. Oh
She's
my
a little
gosh.
girl. She has a couple parasites for treating, but other than that, she's pretty healthy. And she's ready to go to a home whenever we find the perfect place.
Well, thanks, Annie. We'll see you soon.
Yay! Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Annie. I'm here at the South LA Animal Shelter. We're in South Central Los Angeles. And I'm here at this shelter because this is the highest kill shelter in Los Angeles. And it's actually surprising because it's the most recently made shelter. It's very, it looks great. It's actually a really nice facility in terms of shelters, but it does have the highest kill rate. That rate is about 40%. To be specific, it's 37%, but it's about 40%. So about 40% of the animals we see today will probably be euthanized. As terrible as that sounds, it's actually a lot better than it has been in the past. 3 years ago, it was actually up to close to 60%. So with the help of Animal Wellness and all the other rescue groups in the LA area, and the coalition that we formed together to work together as a team, in the past 3 years, we've significantly decreased the number of animals that have been euthanized in shelters. So I'm here today with Rick and Dara and Courtney from Explore.org. Hi guys! Yay! And then we have James here with Animal Wellness.
Hey guys.
And we're just going to walk around and check out what animals are here, and you guys can help us decide who to take. You know, the thing that I'd like to do is find an animal that is, has been here a while, is high on the kill list, so that we're really saving a life. And preferably it's somebody that I can fix, that I can take care of. Someone with skin issues, or something wrong with a limb, or anything that I can fix, I'd love to take. So let's go check it out. Let's go save some animals.
Woo!
All right. And we have a volunteer?
Yes.
Okay, great.
We've got a volunteer with the shelter that's going to help us get into the different kennels, just to speed up the process. A lot of times we walk around at first, but it's nice to be able to get in and get your hands on them so you can see how they're doing, how they're feeling, how they'll respond to you.
It's Celeste, right?
It's Celeste.
Hey, Celeste. Thanks for helping us out today.
You saw them?
No, not yet.
There's 3 of them.
So these are the
I look at the camera. I don't know where they go. That's all that matters.
Do you want to look at the cats? Oh, this is dogs?
They have puppies. They actually have some puppies right now, which
Oh, and he may be blind.
Maybe. I think that's what I see in his eyes.
Hi, sweetie. Yeah, on the right here, it might be cataracts, which is so fixable. We can fix that.
He's 10, so he's okay.
Do you know how long he's been here?
He's been here since the 31st of last month.
He's cute.
And then we have a little
Oh, so he can only eat canned food because his
Yeah.
teeth are so bad.
that too.
It's so hard to find homes for the older dogs. It's very sad. But the eyes we could fix and the teeth we could definitely fix. So we can make him fix that.
That's the only one right now. This one's already a dog.
Oh, that's good. Oh, he's so cute. So this right here is the way it goes. You have a puppy who probably was here for like a day and immediately found a home. And then you have an old 10-year-old dog that nobody's going to want. Somebody will want you. You're very cute. You're very cute. You have that going for you. Yes, very cute. Hi, puppy. I'm glad you found a home. You're very cute.
Annie, people are saying help the one who needs it the most.
yeah. All right, we're figured out. We're figured out.
We're gonna figure it out, guys.
But we have a dog right now that has cataracts, and we're getting that dog fixed. you basically take out the lens. Like cataracts is where the lens is it's opaque and you can't see through it anymore, so the animals can't see. And if you don't get that fixed, then it develops into glaucoma, which is extremely painful, and sometimes they have to have their eye removed. So it's really good if we could fix the cataracts. Where are we going now?
We go in the back corner where they keep most of the boy dogs.
This is the reptile room. I will not be going in there. I'm terrified of snakes. No, I don't like this. Oh my gosh. So these are the smaller ones, probably, right?
Yeah, these are the small males.
Kind of do small males on this side and the rest of the girls on the other side.
He looks like he's limping a little bit.
He is. He has a possible owner, so he's not
Nervous. This
available.
one's really nervous.
Oh, he's on hold. Okay, good.
Well, no, I mean he found him with the possible owner. He's not available.
Oh, I see. So his actual owner may show up.
Yeah.
They're hoping.
This one just came out of medical.
Oh my god. Oh, wow. A Norfolk Terrier. This is like my kind of dog. So he's 8 years old. He was found as a stray. And how long has he been here?
It's been here since the 30th.
Since the 30th.
Annie, about how long are they able to hold the dogs when they get them in? Or like when you intake a dog, how long can you hold it for?
If it's a stray, then we hold it for 10 days. But if it's owner surrender, as soon as it comes in and they give it to us, then it's available for adoption because the owner knows that it's here.
Okay.
So we pretty much age them on their teeth, how bad their teeth are. I don't know if you can see this guy's teeth. He's missing a lot of them, and they're pretty bad. So the shelter has called him about 8. I think that's probably right, like 8 to 10. Look at this one, it's loose. And that can be painful. Like, sometimes people neglect how important teeth are in dogs, but you know, if you've ever had a cavity or an abscess or something on your teeth, it hurts like hell. It hurts them just as much. And I think a lot of people don't realize how bad that is. And sometimes dogs get surrendered or dogs get dropped off on the street, like these dogs from the street. They're let go because they could be bitey or have behavior issues. And a lot of times it's because their teeth are so bad, they're painful. And sometimes we fix their teeth and the bitiest, meanest dog suddenly turns into a sweetheart. So the teeth are really important. My issue is I'm going to want all of them.
All of them, Annie, all of them.
Yeah, we should take all of them. She's just little circles too. It's a little cutie. Alright, well, we're going to remember him. These guys tend to be harder to adopt out because they're not like fluffy. Like the cute little fluffy guys do better than the ones that are kind of just standard looking dogs. But these guys are going to be healthier. Even this little one that I love so much, when they have this more squished faces, they have more of a potential to have a hard time breathing. This dog's more likely to have tracheal issues, which is like their windpipe. Sometimes the windpipe collapses down and they have trouble breathing. But in general, this dog is going to be way healthier. And so I do encourage people to adopt a dog like this, even though they may not be like the cute little fluffy thing. that everybody wants. But the longer snout, the longer legs, and the fact that he's a little bigger will make him hardier and sturdier. I'm sure that these dogs are going to be going to the vet a lot less than the cute little fluffy one. They're cute. So
Yeah, they're not available yet.
So they're not available because they just got here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So hold is up until the 9th. Oh wait, one of them's good.
No, this one's available because it was owner surrendered. So as soon as the owner surrenders them, it's available.
And do we have any information on why the owner would surrender them?
If you want information on it, they can look it up in the system because as soon as they turn it in, we ask why they turned it in and like if they have any specialties or anything that we need to look out for.
So were these two together? Oh. Because they look a lot alike.
Yeah, this one, what was it? I think this one was surrendered and this one was a stray.
Don't you think they kind of look like brothers?
They could be.
And then this one,
The Yorkie, that one was a stray.
that's a stray. Oh, and that's going to be available too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll find a home in like a second.
He has grooming the day he's available, so.
Oh, good. So they'll be
Yeah.
grooming. Yeah.
This is easy to have grooming.
Because he wants to be on a seat. He can't see right now. All right, good. So that's one that we know. And they seem kind of young. They seem a little on the other side. Oh. Oh my
This is
God.
Oreo. I actually met Oreo the day he came in, and he has not changed a bit. If you look at his temperament, he's like, just wants to love everybody and say hi. And then the waddle butt goes, which is my favorite. He's actually available in a couple of days. So if you're in the LA area and you're interested, he'll be available in a couple of days. Huh, Oreo? Huh, Oreo?
We need to get him when
If he
he's
stays here,
available.
if he stays here for a little bit past being available, we'll actually probably get him because he's super sweet.
Yeah, we have to get this dog. It's amazing.
Huh, Oreo? He likes Oreo. Can I get some cookies and cream with my Oreo?
And even though he's super sweet, he's still on the list of the harder to adopt dogs because he does look like he's a pit mix, and so many people have preconceived notions of pit bulls, and they avoid them, and sometimes it's harder to get to rent apartments and all that kind of stuff. But so he's one that would be a really great dog to pull because he's so sweet. He's gonna be a great family member, but it's going to be a little bit harder.
These are our big dogs. More of our big dogs.
This is all still the males.
Yeah, the little dogs are still on that side. They just put these big kennels here for a while.
So predominantly for us, we tend to help out a lot more with the medium and small dogs just because the space of our facility and what we're able to do.
We need a bigger space. As soon as we get a bigger space, we'll be able to. At this point, we kind of need to have a foster available to get a bigger space. But this is very broken. So if there's somebody that sees a dog here, these big ones, that would be willing to foster for us, and then let us know, we can
oftentimes you don't, they come. I don't know if you can see this guy in the back that's actually hiding and he won't come out. So he's only been here for a couple days now.
That one's the fourth, yeah.
Yeah, so he's only been here for a few days. So.
Puma.
It's okay.
What's the deal with this?
He was in quarantine for a while.
Because I like great dogs.
Yeah.
Look at this sweet bagels. Look at this sweet baby. Look how sweet you are. Yeah, you would be a love bug, wouldn't you? Sweet baby. Look how sweet this dog is. How sweet you are.
You're in trouble today, Courtney. But these aren't available, so you want to take one.
Accessible. It might be nice.
Annie, we're getting a lot of questions about, like, you know, having to choose one dog. We're worried that the rest are going to put down. Like, we just choose one. So maybe we could address some of the comments about, you know, like, you guys do this often.
We usually take several, and we do this. So a couple people have been commenting about just choosing one dog and the idea that we're leaving all these other dogs behind. And first of all, we probably will take more than one. I can never come here and only take one. It's impossible. But also, we come here all the time. Like you saw the little pitty dog that we were talking about that's available in a couple days. We keep track of them, and we come back frequently or call or make sure that they either find a home or we send someone to come and get them. So this is not just a one-time thing. Like, we don't have to worry. Like, all the dogs that you see here are not going to be left here. People will come and get them. These poor little cheeky dogs. So this Cocker Spaniel reminds me of. Sometimes I worry that conditions that they get, like post-traumatic stress disorder, you know, like PTSD, like people get. I really think that dogs can get that. And this poor little Cocker Spaniel. His friend is a stray. He's available. Actually, what is it? Tomorrow. But dogs like this, you know, even though this is a very, very highly adoptable dog, and we'll probably find a home very quickly, it makes me worried about him being here too long because he's so stressed out. There's some of them that like human interaction, and just having people come up to the cage will force a tail wag, and they feel better. But this poor little guy is super stressed. Like, I think he's one of the most stressed dogs I've seen here yet. That I think makes the LA shelters so much different than other shelters that I've been to. Because I've done rescue work mostly on the East Coast, in Philadelphia, New York City, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. And in all of those cities on the East Coast, I would never see like a poodle-y type dog in a shelter. But in LA, we have so many of them. I think it's because we are such a transient city where people come here to try to make it. You know, they get the dog, they get the house, and then they can't survive, and they move, and they leave their animals behind.
Will you repeat the question?
This is, so the question was, what kind of care would this dog need? And this is the one that had that loose tooth that I was feeling, so he would definitely need care.
What do you think, baby? You want some teeth cleanings? You can feel better?
Let me just mark everything.
I'm just gonna pee on everything. It's fantastic.
Hi, little one. Let's look at you. Sometimes dogs, when they have hair that grows into their eyes like that, it ends up hurting their eyes. So whoever adopts this dog is going to have to really do a lot of grooming to keep the hair out of the eyes. You're very sweet. But yeah, those teeth are terrible. We need to your teeth cleaned. So this dog's had a lot of fleas. It's kind of some evidence of fleas.
When you pull dogs, Annie, like what are the most common problems that you see health-wise?
The most common problem is actually skin disease. Because a lot of them have had fleas for a long time and it really damages their skin. And in LA we have a lot of dogs with skin allergies. And so I think the most common problem is skin disease. Hey! Oh, sorry. It's okay, it's okay. I think he's more interested in all the other dogs that have been here.
A lot of smells. Do you think that dogs' personalities change when they're like out in the open in the yard versus in the kennel when you see them like barking and like do you see a big difference when you pull them out? And
Yeah, and that's why it's important to do that.
yeah,
So to pull them out and just see how they interact with people. The hardest part is when dogs bite. You know, so it's nice to bring them out into this environment and see how they react to people to make sure that out of the cage they're not, aggressive or biting. Usually it's the opposite. Usually in the cage they're more aggressive because sometimes dogs are just cage aggressive, where it's their area. They're very stressed out being here, and so that cage is their little den, their little protective site. So when dogs go over to see them, when people go over to see them, they may act aggressive. But when you get them out and get them in an environment like this, they're calmer, and they end up being nice dogs. But I think the biggest thing that we see is aggressive problems when you first pull them, and then once they get used to people, it stops. So, if we got this guy, what would we name him?
that's everybody. If we got this cutie, what do you think we should name him?
I tend to want to name all dogs this color. I want to name Sandy because, of course, my name being Annie, I grew up liking Little Orphan Annie, and she had a dog named Sandy, so I always wanted to name him Sandy. So I should not name this dog because I would name all of them Sandy.
Someone says Scruffy.
Aw, Scruffy's cute.
Oh, lucky.
Someone else said Lucky.
Benji.
Benji's a cute name.
Yeah, Benji's cute. He looks like a little mini version of Benji.
Ellie. Someone asked female or male. Definitely male.
A male, right?
Yeah.
He's a male, yeah.
Ducky.
I don't even think we made it to the female part of the little dog.
Charlie. I like Teddy. Teddy's cute. We got 2 votes for Ben type names, Benji or Benny.
Potato.
I like Potato.
That's a good one.
Bama.
Bama. Or Bama. Chewy.
Teddy. Potato. Teddy.
Lucky.
Lucky.
Oh, I like this. This is cute. PJ for Pride and Joy.
PJ. Come here, PJ.
Oh, you guys, he's responding to PJ pretty well. PJ.
Or there was another smell.
Yeah.
So you guys probably all know this, but a dog's sense of smell is kind of like our sense of vision. It's the most important of their senses. Dogs can pick up molecules of a scent, like just molecules of something. So a play area like this is like the equivalent of us seeing like, I don't know, a kaleidoscope, you know, like tons of different colors and shapes and things coming at us all at once. So that's why, like, I think every dog is going to be more into the smells around here than actually interacting with us.
Oh, this doggy is a sweetheart. You are. Tater. But we have Tater Tot, so.
Oh, we have a little tater tot, yeah.
Tot
So you could be potato.
Jack Sparrow. What do you think of Jack Sparrow?
We can call you Captain.
Another vote for Lucky.
Look at that tongue. Somebody said Sandy.
Sandy, yeah.
You look a little sandy, though. You look kind of sandy. You just want to be a puppy. That's what you want to
Ollie.
Did you hear that?
do.
That rooster?
Yeah, we have roosters. They have roosters here. It's amazing.
They have every type of animal here, essentially. Little animal. Wasn't a fan. What are you feeling for right now, Annie?
So I was kind of seeing like if he's too skinny. I actually think it's pretty good. Like this is kind of perfect. I think a lot of people tend to have their dogs overweight. This is good. And then the other thing I always feel for these little guys have problems with their knees. So it's feeling the knees.
So I figured this would change it up a little bit, and you could see that it's not also adults that get surrendered. These are puppies. They're about 4 months. So you can even, puppies that need to find homes.
Very happy to be outside. Hi, baby.
Is it a way to go?
Yeah, I know there's a boy. I think this is the boy.
How old do you think these guys are? A few months? Or?
About 4 months.
4 months?
I mean, we do have a doctor here. The doctor could tell us.
So these, the front teeth, these are adult teeth, and this is a baby tooth. So the adult teeth come in, they start coming in at around 3 months or 12 weeks. And because of the fact that it's kind of like the whole row of adult teeth in the front, the incisors, I think 4 months is probably right. And then that larger tooth, the canine tooth it's called, this one, that comes in at 6 months. And look, oh wait, come here. That one fell out. That's why it's red. If they find really good homes, then usually they have tooth fairies that come to visit when they lose their teeth. But it looks like we have a little boy and a little girl. Now there are pros and cons to adopting siblings. I always think it seems like a great idea because, I have a brother I'm pretty close with. It's so nice to grow up with a sibling. You can rely on them. They're always around. But for dogs, sometimes they get something called littermate syndrome. And littermate syndrome, it's kind of like when twins develop their own language. With littermate syndrome, they only want to interact with each other, and they don't really want to interact with other animals. And it happens a lot. And I actually see it a lot when people adopt littermates as they get... It's like the bond between the two siblings is so great that it overwhelms everything else. Now, the way you counteract littermate syndrome, the way you get around it is by doing things with them individually. So if we were to take these puppies and adopt them out together, I would talk to the new owner about making sure that they do things on their own. Like, we want them to go to training separately. We want them to go on walks separately. And if they can handle it, maybe even sleeping separately. But it's good for them to have their own separate lives, basically. Very cute. Hello! Hi! Oh, you're such good puppies. Yes, you are.
Oh, they're gonna play now. Oh, it's on.
Okay. Thanks.
So this isn't a very fun thing to talk about, but whenever puppies are born, usually they have parasites. They have intestinal parasites. Pretty much all puppies have it. So if you adopt a puppy, it's very good to make sure you get them tested for parasites. I'm pretty sure these guys have something. And for the most part, it's not contagious to humans. There are some parasites that are contagious to humans, so it's always good to wash your hands after you go to the shelter. Wash your hands before eating when you have a puppy in the house. But besides that, it's pretty okay. But I just thought I'd mention it. So if we got these puppies, one of the first things we do is a fecal test to get them on any anti-parasitic medicines that they would need. So a question that I get asked all the time when we get puppies is, how big are they going to be? I wish I had a crystal ball and I could answer that with 100% certainty. You can play with it. You can watch it until I'm talking to it. But it's hard to say for sure how big these guys are going to be. Usually around 4 months of age, I say they're about half of their adult size. So maybe these guys will double in size. But one of the things you look at is how big their paws are, and in relation to whether it's proportional to the rest of their body. Dogs that are really going to grow quickly, they have these huge paws compared to their bodies. These guys, the paws actually kind of look like it fits with their body type right now. So that makes me think that they're not going to grow too much bigger. But maybe they're going to be like 50 pounds old. But I actually have no idea. I'm always surprised.
Someone has the zoomies.
probably 7 years old and obviously came in very matted. That's why they shaved her down. And then should be able to find the doctor in a second. She even has, you kind of see on the top of her head, big bald spot. Not too sure why. Say hi to Blue.
This is Blue.
This is Blue.
That is a very funny little spot on top of it. Kind of looks like male pattern bubbles. No. So how old are they saying Blue?
They have Blue down as 9.
Okay. Owner surrender or stray, or you don't know?
I believe it was stray on the card. I might have mixed it up with one of the other 5 cards on the door.
Oh, okay. So if we got this one back to the clinic, we would do a little scrape to check for mites, a cytology to look for infection. And maybe even a fungal culture
Yay! Fungal cultures.
for ringworm.
Are fungal cultures a fun situation? What's the deal with fungal cultures, guys?
Oh, the look about the fungal cultures. We fungal culture for ringworm, and humans can get ringworm.
Oh, good times.
Yeah.
So you might have just been
So we may
touched
have
with
just,
some ringworm.
We may have just given James ringworm.
Sorry, James.
It doesn't look exactly like ringworm. I doubt that's what it is. It could be actually hormonal even. It would be good to check the thyroid, for hypothyroidism. There are a couple different reasons they could have that. There's also a slight chance that it's from trauma, just because of how it's right on the top of the head.
They all just turn into puppies the moment they get out here.
Yeah, I think they're just happy to be here.
It's a little bit quieter back here than the other places, and some space to move around.
Annie, as a vet, like, what's your ideal scenario for Los Angeles? Like, what would you like to see happen here in Los Angeles to, like, for like the dogs in shelters? Like, do you want to see them all out? Like what's the, like, do you see a process to? That wasn't very well phrased, but
Like to have.
like, what's your
Ideally,
ideal scenario?
ideally, we would have Los Angeles be a no-kill city.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other cities in the U.S. that do it, like Austin, Texas, for example, is 100% no-kill.
And what do you think prevents this place from being a no-kill place?
Just the volume. There are just so many animals here that people are putting down. I think that there are a couple different populations of people here in LA. I already talked about the people who are transients, like they come to LA to try to make it big, or and a lot of times they get like the nicer fluffy dogs, and then they leave them. Then there's also a population of people who don't believe in spaying and neutering. There's a lot of different areas, like I feel like in Compton, for example, we'll go to Compton and I'll just see dogs like just wandering the streets, and when you talk to the people from that area, a lot of people don't want to spay and neuter. So there's also this certain area of LA that the culture is to not spay and neuter.
Right.
So those are the big things, is getting people to spay and neuter, and having people be more responsible with pet ownership. But I think that there are so many rescue groups in LA, and just in the past 7 years that I've lived here, I've seen them rise up from nowhere, and there are just dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of them. And I think that helps significantly. And I think the more we have that, the better. And also the more we partner with other cities in the U.S. that don't have as much of an overpopulation problem.
Right, doing transports to other
Yeah.
states.
Yeah, I think transporting is actually a good thing. So this little guy, I don't think this is from fleas, even though most of the time in shelters when I see skin issues, I think that it's from fleas. Fleas like to go to the warm areas of the body, so usually fleas are back here. And when dogs have patches of hair loss back here, I'm like, oh, it's probably fleas. But the top of the head is not like a normal spot for that. Oh, you're gonna scratch now to show that you have fleas? Hey, Blue. Hey, Blue. Hi. Do you know your name? You know your name? You're a little sweetheart dog, aren't you? You know what's also really sad? It's a terrible way to start talking about something. You know what's also really sad? If you want to hear something else really sad, so James mentioned that this dog was severely matted. And I've actually seen it before where the mats get so bad that it actually cuts off the blood supply to the skin, and they get weird lesions like on the top of the head just from mats. And I've actually seen it before where the mats can strangle the arms, and when I go to shave, the skin just comes off with it. So it's important to get grooming. I mean, the hair can really cause problems. Blue. Hey, Blue. Hey, Blue. Here you go. You know your name. You're a good little dog. Look at this little face. First. I need a home. I need a home.
Are we taking Blue home?
I don't know. Maybe. We have to decide. I definitely want to take the little sandy colored dog. We're definitely taking that dog. I definitely don't want to take the two puppies because I feel like the
They'll
puppies.
get adopted quickly.
Yeah, like the puppies don't need us. And they also seem pretty healthy. It'd be one thing if they were not doing well here, but they have each other and they're okay. Usually when they have puppies like that, they put them together, and so it's so much better. Like they're not as stressed out. But I would definitely like to take the sandy colored one, and I would definitely not want to take the puppies. Other than that, I'm not sure. Okay, let's pick it up. Because I don't know the specifics of like how long this dog has been here.
Blue, Blue, come.
Come here, sweetie.
Side of the camera. This one was a little shy at first, but warmed up really quick. She's probably 4 years old, maybe 5. Just cuddling in really quick. Ready to run around? Huh? No? Beep.
See how big her nipples are? She looks like she's had babies.
Where are your babies?
Where your mama? Where your little mama? She's young.
Is she? Had her down as 4.
4? I think like
I didn't even look at her
2,
teeth.
2 or 3. I don't think she's
Yeah,
4.
she got some decay on the top canine.
Ready? I was gonna say 2, so maybe we'll just say 3.
Split the difference. What is that weird stuff on your feet?
Does this one have a name?
Just a shelter name, not a...
So what number?
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do is cut off that thing with the number on it. It's like the little freedom thing.
Cut off the prison tag. It's very confused by the artificial turf. Nothing like filming them do their natural thing, right? So, luckily in Los Angeles last weekend, we had a massive adoption event, which we were a part of. 530 cats and dogs found homes. So it's one of the reasons why there's not too many critters in the shelters right now. Normally there'd be even more than there is today, but we called around to a few other shelters to see what was available, and a lot of them had very few 4 or 5 dogs available just because of the big weekend. So a lot of them found homes thanks to the, it was an NKLA event.
Dog bone. You accept this bone.
Do you accept this leash?
I will.
So I think next we're going to see the dog with the cataracts. The first dog that we saw. If you're just joining us, we're here at the South LA Animal Shelter. We're with Dr. Annie, and Dr. Annie is finding dogs that could use her help so she can pull them and find good forever homes for them.
You're saving some lives here.
Saving some lives today, so thank you for joining us. And we're going to look at one more dog, and then we're going to head back to Annie's
Hospital.
hospital.
So this one's a contender. We are going to need a name if we end up taking this one, so you can always use help finding names. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. A lot of Chihuahuas pee just on their front legs. They walk around on their front legs because they want to get the pee as high as possible. It's kind of like a Chihuahua trait.
Annie, how many adoption events do you have, like, a month? And where do they usually happen?
Every Sunday we have an adoption event. It's at Centinela Feed, really close to the hospital Marine Del Rey. This past weekend, NKLA had an adoption event, and NKLA is a coalition of rescue groups. NKLA stands for No Kill Los Angeles, and the idea is that we're trying to get Los Angeles to be a no-kill shelter. And so far, it's been pretty successful, because they say around 3 years ago, the kill rate in LA was at 50%, and now it's at 25%.
Wow.
So that's actually pretty good.
That's a big deal.
That's a significant decrease. Here at South LA, we're at the highest kill shelter in Los Angeles, and currently their rate is at 37%, which is still pretty high. So I think that's kind of like 1 out of every 3 dogs that we see here. But there is a certain percentage of them that are really sick too.
Yeah.
So you gotta take that into account.
What would you say there's like what's the proportion of stray versus owner surrender? Like, what do you see more owner surrenders than strays?
More strays.
More strays. Wow.
Yeah. People don't want to surrender them. Like, sometimes they will just leave them. But the problem with that is the owner surrenders can find a home right away. The strays have to wait. They have to stay for 10 days because you have to see if an owner will come and pick the dog up. So it's a great rule because we want people to be reunited with their animals. But it's not great for the dogs if it's actually an owner that gave them up, and instead of giving them up, they just dump them on the street.
Yeah.
I think that what we do is really great because we're taking these dogs from these terrible conditions and rehabbing them and finding them homes. But there are better ways to stop the over-pet population problem that we have here in LA and the high kill rates that we have here in LA. Spay and neuter, of course, is very important. That makes sense. But also, it's a lot cheaper to keep the animals in their homes. And sometimes dogs are in really loving homes. But the problem is that people can't afford whatever care that they need. For example, if they have a dog that has bad teeth, or a dog that has an abscess, or that one dog that we saw that has the patch of hair loss, sometimes they go to the vet and it's too expensive for them. So, and sometimes it's just as simple as spaying them. They can't pay for it. So one of the things that I want to do is have an animal hospital here in Los Angeles that can help these people. A place where they can go if they can't afford regular veterinary care, and that way we can take care of their dogs and keep them in the loving homes. because this is pretty traumatic for dogs to be placed in a shelter. They have to go through the trauma of being here, and then it's a great expense for us to take them, keep them, get them healthy again. Because a lot of times, even if they are healthy, they get sick in the shelters. So it's actually would be much cheaper and much better, much more of a win-win-win situation if we had a hospital here that could take care of the animals that people love but can't really afford the vet care. So that's one of the things that I'm working towards is being able to open up something like that here in Los Angeles. We have it in New York City. The ASPCA has a great hospital in New York City. San Francisco SPCA is a great hospital for that, but it's amazing how we don't have a big facility like that here in Los Angeles. Did that make sense? I mean, like there's this. I don't think this dog is spayed, so there's a chance that this dog had a really nice family, and they just got to a point where she had to be spayed because she kept wanting to, get out and have puppies, or she had puppies and they're like, we can't take care of all these puppies. We can't deal with this dog having puppies. They go to a vet. The vet, wants $200, which is kind of on the cheap side, but the vet will say, okay, $200 and I'll spay them, and they say, I don't have $200 for that, so they drop the dog off at the shelter. When if they had a place that they could go, get the dog spayed, or get the patch of hair loss looked at, or whatever, then the dogs would stay in their homes. And that's far better than what we're doing, to be honest. Even though I love the idea of saving. It's a little bit of a high.
She's like one of those cartoon characters. They suck you in with the eyes and then...
Oh, like Puss in Boots.
Yeah.
I was kind of debating if I should bring her because she's really scared.
Just remember, we don't want to have to put your hand in
I've become a lot more.
Let me go see if I find another.
You say that, people are asking.
Oh, the one with the cataracts? It's not available for a couple days. So what we're doing is we're keeping an eye out for it, and when it's available, we'll come back. So do you want to
Yeah, let's do that. Andy, someone's asking, the dream hospital you're talking about. Is that something you want to do? Like, are you looking for funding to do something like that?
Yes.
So Andy wants to open
So the question is, the dream hospital for Los Angeles that we're talking about, is that something that I actually want to do? And yes, we're actually starting to raise funds for it. So it's in the works.
All right, well, stay tuned for that, because that's important.
Yeah, I think that's... Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You can, if you want to start walking up, and do we want to look at some more as we walk, or no?
Yeah, so maybe
We can
we'll,
like see the caves again.
yeah, we're gonna do a little, one more roundabout, and then we're gonna head back to Annie's, and we'll show you which dogs we pulled and what's gonna happen next for those dogs.
So we were kind of
The one that was kind of bitey. How long
The
has
last
that dog?
one?
Yeah, how long has that dog been
to
here?
owner surrender, so it's available. It hasn't been here that long. I think it's just scared. That's why when she asked, I said, let's try and see how it does. But it's definitely nervous. There's a couple other ones I can that we can show that are in the similar case where it's hard to know if they're bitey dogs or if they're just reacting that way because of the environment and they're scared.
I bet you that dog's gonna end up being fine.
Kind of see us pan around how the vastness of the larger dogs that are here as they walk around. Predominantly in Los Angeles, we have a lot of pitties, but then you still get Dobermans. Yes, Annie likes that. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, there's one guy down here at the end. If we're lucky, he'll do it. He runs along the wall, right here at the last one. But he might be tired himself out earlier. Huh? Don't you like to run and jump on the wall? You're not going to do it now? Yeah, maybe one day I'll find the footage and show you. Literally, we'll run circles like running in a racetrack along the wall. Yeah, that's probably why. They did a really good job with this shelter of separating everybody, so it kind of reduces the noise. Again, a lot of these ones aren't available, but you can see there's actually more puppies available looking for homes soon. Look for them. So you can kind of see these guys here in the back. They're kind of in that boat of we're not sure if they're scared or just burnt out from the environment because they don't want to have too much to do with us. I went to get this guy in the kennel next to us. I went to bring her out, and she just, you can hear her growling now a little bit. She's very nervous by everything. And she's just trying to protect herself because of where she's at, and when they grab them and bring them in, so it makes it a little bit harder. There's Blue barking at us. That's Blue's Bunky, but she's not available, but we'll probably come back and check on her. She's been favoring her right leg a lot, so which makes me think something might be a little bit wrong. Oh no. Celeste was about to bring us some more, but we came back too soon.
She came out from medical, and then her name is Jenny.
Didn't I meet you earlier, Jenny?
This guy's a real swallow face. Maybe not. Oh, you're sweet. Oh, volunteer favorite. Oh, the baby. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh my goodness, I love you. Taking a picture so that we can keep track of this one. Oh, you can see there's hair loss on the back. That's what I was talking about. Hey, see the right behind the butt. So it's from fleas.
So that's my size dog.
We'll have to show you some of the other big cats when we get done.
Say hi, Diamond.
Down there at the end's doing really good. She came right up to me. She got nervous and went back. And then when I started talking, she ran up and she was sniffing and licking me. Person that brought the dog to the shelter. Sorry, we were just having a discussion. I don't know if you can hear us.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's first right. Just means that a lot of times when they get surrendered, the person that brought them to the shelter, hoping they find their family, put a first right in, meaning they'll take them when they become available after their whole period.
It's a reptile with legs. I can handle reptiles with legs.
Can't get a great shot of it, but there's an iguana in there. Hello.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything.
All right, great. All right, so let's wrap up. Thank you so much for joining us on this amazing journey to figure out what kind of dogs we can save. Some of the dogs that we looked at today aren't quite available yet, so we have them in our database. We're going to keep checking on them. We're going to make sure they either find a great home, another rescue pulls them, or we pull them. One of the ones that I really wanted was the first one that we saw with the cataracts and the bad teeth. We're going to keep an eye on that one because it's not available for a couple days. But we are going to pick a couple of the ones today, and we're going to take them out. We're doing the paperwork. It's going to take a while to do the paperwork, so we're not going to bore you guys with paperwork. But we will meet you guys back at the Animal Wellness Centers where we will reveal which ones we took for today. Hi everybody, we're back. We're still here at the South LA shelter. getting our rescue dogs for the day. We did decide on 2 dogs that we want to take. One of them needs to stick around to get spayed, so there's just one that we're going to pick up. We also got a couple cats while we're here as well. I don't know if you guys see our cat. A very well cared for cat that looks like it got way overfed. So we're excited about that kitty, but if you want, you can come with us and we'll pull the dog out.
Information real quick.
No, definitely not. I don't know if you guys might. We're just doing Facebook. So these guys are thinking about taking those 2 little puppies that we were playing with. Remember the white puppies? You guys are
Thinking about it.
So they're gonna go together.
We're thinking about it.
That's so
The white fluffy puppies you were watching earlier.
Yeah, I knew they were gonna find them fast.
They already have 20,000 people that watched them earlier that wanted them to get home.
Oh, really?
So you can go watch them play on Dog Bless You. And then when you take them home, say, these are our dogs, they're early things.
So these are 2 new ones that are coming in. And this is our little one. Oh, hey, baby. Hi. Yay. Yay. So this is the one that we were taking name requests for. That I kept wanting to call Sandy. So we definitely need a name for this one. So maybe we can get a couple together and vote on it. That would be really fun if you guys want to do that.
Sure.
You guys have name suggestions.
So name suggestions. Yay, you're free. You ready to go home?
You can put her on the leash and let her walk a little if you want to.
The leash is so big.
That's the one I have in my, that is around my neck all the time.
All the time, like it's been long.
Someone's happy.
It's a high stepper. She looks like a show pony.
Yay! This is where we're gonna go.
She's just super proud.
Come on, sweetie. Yay! So she, I don't know if you noticed, but she's like coughing a little bit from just this leash. So I think she probably does have a little bit of that trachea issue that I was talking about earlier when we had her in the playpen. So whoever adopts her, I'm going to tell them to always use a harness. Like I don't really like doing the slip lead, but it's just to get her to the car. All right, I'm going to hold her so she doesn't need to go in a crate.
So what's next, Annie? You're gonna take her back?
Yeah, so we're gonna take her back, get her some food, get her a nice bed, and get her ready to find a good home. I think it should be pretty easy.
Bravo, Annie.
Especially with all you guys helping. So thank you, everybody. And we gotta get her name.
Submit your names here, guys.